types of bad parenting do kids not recover from? My parents never really wanted kids. I was their happy accident, as relatives politely called it. By age 8, they'd perfected the art of forgetting I existed between board meetings. That Tuesday, alone and hungry again, I couldn't wait any longer for them to come home, so I decided to cook mac and cheese myself. The pot tipped, reaching for the box. Boiling water hit my chest and ran down my stomach. My skin blistered immediately, peeling away in sheets. I called Mom's office, voicemail, Dad's cell, nothing. Their assistant said they were in important meetings. So I sat in the bathtub with cold water running, crying alone for 5 hours until they came home at 9 p.m., still discussing quarterly reports. The ER doctor's disgust was obvious. These burns are hours old, she said. My parents played concerned, making excuses about meetings running late, but my dad pulled me into his arms, and for the first time in my life, I saw him cry. His chest shook as he held me. "We'll always be there for you," he whispered. "I promise, son." For exactly 3 weeks, they kept their word. Mom worked from home, Dad left by 5. We ate real dinners together. They checked homework, watched Saturday cartoons with me. Week 4, Dad had a client emergency. Week 5, Mom's presentation got moved up. By month 2, I was back to empty houses and an empty stomach. The promises morphed into excuses. They pointed to my healing scars as evidence of resilience. "Look how independent you've become," they'd tell relatives. "He's so self-sufficient." Like trauma was a parenting strategy. By the time I turned 10, they'd convinced themselves that leaving me alone was actually good parenting. I was mature for my age and didn't need babysitting like other kids. They never called it neglect. In their minds, they were raising a capable child. I knew every delivery number by heart, could treat minor injuries myself, never asked for anything. Mom bragged to coworkers that I never complained. Of course I didn't. I'd learned at 8 that screaming in pain for 5 hours didn't bring them home faster. By 16, I'd accepted this was my life. When I asked about working at their company, they said no positions available. The real message was clear. On my 18th birthday, still in high school, they handed me an eviction notice. 30 days. When moving day came, they were at a conference. My friend's dad helped me pack. 3 months later, I lost my job and apartment. I begged them for help. Just a month to get back on my feet. They said I was an adult now. Figure it out. Then closed the door. I spent that winter in a tent in the neighborhood park. Their only child was homeless, and they couldn't be bothered to care. A neighbor found me camping and gave me my grandparents' number. It was Dad's parents I'd never really met. They flew me out within 48 hours. Horrified, their only grandchild was homeless. They were everything my parents weren't. Helped me start community college, got me a job through connections. After a year, they sold me their house for a third its value to retire somewhere warm for grandma's arthritis. I worked constantly, sometimes traveling for weeks, but focused on paying it off. My grandparents legally disowned my parents, struck them from the will. Mom and Dad shrugged, said they didn't need inheritance money anyway. For 5 years, I had real family. Sunday calls, care packages, birthday cards. Then Grandpa had a stroke. Grandma followed 6 months later. They left me everything. Investments, savings, a lifetime of careful planning. Not millions, but enough to finally feel secure. I was stable. Good job, paid off house, small inheritance. The burned 8-year-old had somehow made it. I came home from a 2-week work trip to find a white van in my driveway. My parents' company logo on the side. They'd broken in and were living in my house, greeting me like nothing was wrong. "It's Grandma and Grandpa's house," Dad said when I told them to leave. "We have a right to be here." They'd lost everything. Business bankrupt, house gone, living out of that van for weeks before breaking into my place. Both working minimum wage, Dad delivering packages, Mom folding clothes at Target. I locked myself in my bedroom and called police. They claimed squatters' rights, told cops we had a verbal rental agreement, no cameras to prove otherwise. 4 months of court delays while they lived in my guest room, contributing a pathetic $100 monthly for utilities. The judge saw through their lies. 30 days to vacate. I marked each day on a calendar in red. March 2nd circled. They scrambled for apartments but couldn't find anything. No one would take them without deposits they didn't have, credit they destroyed. I watched them load their few possessions into the van. Some clothes, an air mattress, the guest room furniture I told them to take. Dad had aged 10 years. Mom's designer clothes were replaced with Walmart clearance. I changed the locks while they sat in their van, engine running for heat. They were truly homeless now, starting from nothing at 60, exactly where they'd left me at 18.